Hey guys, welcome back! As I mentioned at the end of last episode, today there is one specific area that I want to work on. And that's this space right here next to the offering temple on the slime side of the island. Now, you may be wondering why I specifically want to work on this area, and there is one major reason that doesn't become obvious until you get to the top of the hill. Yep, this is the one place on the island that we haven't terraformed the edge yet, and this does not fill me with joy. So today, I want to terraform this edge and hopefully also decorate this bit of the island itself too, because if we manage to do all of that, I think the slime side of the island will be pretty much complete. I mean, I'm sure there's bits of greenery to add and of course the paths to put in place, but in terms of the features and structures, I think this is the last bit on this half. So let's not waste any more time and let's get terraforming. Now that is looking so much better. There is something very satisfying about rounding off all the edges and ending up with this much more natural looking valley with these interlocking spurs and just generally more traversable terrain. And it will all look even better when we actually get around to doing all the detailing on the valley side, but that's not a job for today, I don't think, because today I want to work on this area. Yep, as you may have noticed in the time-lapse, I decided to cut a gap through the hill and disconnect these two sides, and I had a couple of reasons for doing so. But mostly, I realised that if I kept the hill as it was, there just wasn't much room to get creative in this space because the top of the hill wasn't very wide and it was all just going to be a little bit limiting. However, by cutting through, we end up with this lovely little area with plenty of room to work in. It adds a little bit of extra division between the two sides of the island, and it also gives some nice height differences to make the landscape a little more interesting than if this was just going to carry along at basically the same level. But now we have this space, the question is, what are we going to put in it? After all, a gap that remains empty doesn't really do much to enhance the area. So I think I want to build a little structure, and I think I want to make it unique on the island because I've realised that a lot of the things we've built, we've ended up building on both sides and just changed them up a bit, and I do really like that, but I think this time I want this structure to only be here, so it would add a nice bit of variety and difference. And as for what I'm going to build here, well, let's build it up and then we can take a proper look. You know, I actually really like this area. Like I said earlier, I knew that if I left this as a hill, then I just wouldn't have much room to build things here, so I took it down and made the gap, and now we've built this, I am even happier with that choice because this place feels really special somehow. We of course needed to add some of our trees at the back, which look very nice, but we've talked about those trees plenty of times before, so I won't dwell on them, and instead let's talk about the actual structure. I mentioned before I started that I wanted this building to be unique on the island to add some variety, and we of course do already have lots of variety with the Zen garden on the slime hill and the monastery garden next to the witch temple, but in terms of our more substantial buildings and structures, pretty much everything is mirrored, and that's really what I wanted to change here. So I ended up designing this little pavilion bandstand style structure, which I think turned out really well. And I'm also very happy I decided to put this on the slime side because I think this looks so much better with the broken side and all the little bits of smashed glass. I think it looks so much better than it would if it was all neat and put together on the witch side. And originally I was thinking of possibly leaving the space under the dome empty like a bandstand generally would be, but I think it looks so much nicer with the decorative bushes underneath because otherwise there would probably just be like a bench or something, and we've got those around the edge instead, which seems to work quite a lot better for me. And outside of the dome, most of the decorations in the area are things that I've shown elsewhere with the trees and all the foliage, but I don't think we've used these little lanterns anywhere else, and I don't think that I want to. I quite like the idea of these also being unique to this area, but I do think they are actually quite effective for being so simple. I just wanted some visible lighting in this area, but I didn't want to use the archways that we've been using in other places because I needed it to be a bit more low level, because otherwise I think it would have disrupted the view of the bandstand from over at the courtyard, and I think these little things are exactly what I needed, so overall, I am very happy with how today went. But on that note, I think I'm going to have to leave this episode here. The edge of the island is all tidy and clean, and this bandstand area is looking absolutely lovely, which means our slime side of the island is actually pretty much complete. Our next episode is actually going to be on Christmas Day, so I don't think I'll do a full normal episode. I might just do like a short Christmassy thing instead, but after that we'll be back, and I think I want to finish decorating the morning hill because currently outside of the tower it's all a little bit bland, so it would be good to get that all sorted. But until then, thank you guys for watching. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you next time. Bye!